last night. I took my first actual shower in almost 2 weeks last night, and I'm just feeling refreshed, and it's been crazy though, guys. So I wanted to do a little bit of a story time about my experience during and after Hurricane Helene. I promise I'll get used to talking to the camera again. But I have my tea here, and I just want to preface this video, guys, by saying that my area was hit really badly by the storm. However, I am very lucky because my family and my home are intact and alive and well, and not everybody who suffered the storm can say that. So many people lost their lives, lost their family members. Businesses and homes have been completely destroyed. There are some cities where they basically don't exist anymore because of how badly they were hit. So I want to preface this just by saying that I feel incredibly grateful and lucky, even though this time has been very, very difficult. I know that there were so many others who had their homes, their families, their livelihood completely taken away from them. So I don't want to come across as insensitive. I did not experience the very worst of it. But that being said, I do want to tell you guys my experience because it has been a struggle. And it also, I just want to tell you basically where I've been and what I've been up to the last 2 weeks, because I know that it was very abrupt that I stopped posting. So without further ado, let's get into the story time. So Hurricane Helene hit my town. It was a Thursday night, I believe. I think it was the 26th, but if I'm wrong, I'll put the date up here. And I will include some pictures of my experience, but not of the devastation that has hit my town. If you guys want to see, you can look it up. There are many videos of people walking around. Like, there's an adorable little town called Chimney Rock in North Carolina that has been absolutely devastated. I mean, it basically doesn't exist anymore. So if you want to see that, I'm not going to put any incredibly devastating pictures in this video, but I will put some pictures of just my own experience and the things that I've done to have clean food and water and basically just to survive during this time. So anyway, the hurricane hit on a Thursday, and I just got my power and water back, because we have a well here. So if we don't have power, then we don't have running water either. So I just got my power and water back last night. Yesterday was a Monday. Yes, Monday. So Monday night. So it was almost 2 weeks, about a week and a half. It's been crazy. So the night of the hurricane, I could just hear, I mean, I've never heard anything like it before. The winds just lashing everything, and the trees were swaying. I live right next to a little forest, and there are big trees surrounding my home. So I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified. I really thought that something was going to fall onto the house, and it's honestly a miracle that something did not, because just a few houses down the street, people had their homes destroyed. I mean, huge trees fallen, and it's just really, really sad. Like so many of the places that I don't know, I've lived where I live. I'm not going to say exactly where I live, but you guys can kind of deduce at least the area. But I live in the southern United States, and a lot of the places where I've gone so many times over the years, so many good memories, and places where my friends live, they're just gone. It's really, really sad. experiences. So, anyway, the storm hit, and I kept waking up throughout the night because it was so loud, and I could see outside of my window the trees swaying. This one big tree that, if it had fallen, it would have completely destroyed our home. But luckily, we made it through the night, and when I went outside the next day, I mean, huge branches everywhere. Like I said, some of my neighbors were not so lucky, and their homes or their porches were destroyed. A lot of our yard was torn up, not the grass, but we had been doing some landscaping projects in the weeks prior, and a bunch of the fabric that we had pinned down, everything was just like basically gone. So at that point we tried to drive out as far as we could, and for the first handful of days we couldn't even make it out of our neighborhood because there were fallen trees in the road. So because we we lost all of the food in our fridge and freezer after a day or two because it just spoiled. And the only way to cook our food was, luckily I have two wonderful roommates who I endured this experience with, so they kind of kept me afloat. We kept each other afloat and sort of pooled our talents and our resources to feed ourselves and to we had to boil water. Anyway, the way that we cooked food, because we had a grill but no propane, so we couldn't use the grill. So we have this fire pit, and my roommate created out of bricks, and I'll include a picture of this, like a little stove area almost, with just a little hole in the middle, so that we could put in like sticks, fire starters, and you could cook like potatoes and stuff in there. And then he put a part of our grill actually just on top of that, so that there was a surface for us to cook things on. Now, in terms of the water situation, we were not prepared at all, so we didn't have like a backstock of water bottles or anything like that. Fortunately, though, like I said, we had been kind of doing some landscaping projects on the property, and there was this big tub, like multi-gallon tub, that had filled up with rainwater. So what we did was we took it out pot by pot and we boiled it on the fire so that we would have clean water. So we did that for like almost a week before we were able to go out and actually get like some bottled water, stuff like that. So yeah, we boiled the water on the fire, we cooked on the fire, a lot of bug bites. We weren't able to, I know it's kind of TMI, but we weren't able to take showers. We had limited water, so that, bathing ourselves was not really a priority. Baby wipes were our best friend. And we weren't able to use our bathrooms because you can't flush the toilet, there's no water. So we have some woods by our house, and basically just using the bathroom in the woods. And my roommate actually took it upon themselves to make a sort of a makeshift toilet out in the woods. So if you can imagine, like, when products are shipped into a store, they come on these big wooden pallets with like multiple boards on them. And we had a pallet from the previous owners of the house just basically sitting in the woods. So my roommate constructed a makeshift toilet out of that and dug a big hole in the ground, so we were able to sort of use the bathroom in peace. Sorry, I know that's maybe too much information, but that's how my life has been for the last almost 2 weeks. Let's see here. somewhere. Like, one of the businesses near us was open, and we were only able to get there because of the amazing residents who had chainsaws, axes, things like that. People were working to clear off their properties and to clear off just enough space on the road so that everybody could get through. It's really been amazing to see how people come together in times of need and tragedy. I've gotten to know some of my neighbors who I honestly didn't know before, and we've just shared supplies and chatted and things like that. But anyway, once we were finally able to get to a little convenience store that's about a few miles down the road, they were the first place that were open that we could access, but they still did not have power. So we went in there with our flashlights, and there was like 2 inches of water on the floor, the whole floor. But just bless those people for being open, this really sweet family who owned the place. So we were able to get some supplies and some water from there, and slowly but surely, day by day, more and more places would open and the roads would clear up more and more. Even still though, if I drive out more than a couple minutes, I mean, even less than a couple minutes, everything is just devastated. Oh, you guys hear that? So there have been lots of helicopters and, like, I don't know how to say, like, military helicopters with 2 propellers on top, that have been airdropping supplies to the area. You guys can probably hear that. But yeah, they've been going overhead, like, probably dozens of them per day, since a couple days after the disaster. So, anyway, things have been slowly but surely opening up. But like I said, we just got power back last night, and there are so many people in the area still who are without clean water or electricity. Even a lot of the folks who have city water, they have had water, but it's been under a boil advisory. So, we've all been having to boil our water. But yeah, things are not going to be actually back to normal in this area for a long time. I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I just wanted to give an honest recounting of what I've gone through and what my community has been through. But it's also just amazing to see, like, there are so many signs on the side of the road now that things are starting to open back up, like free food, free supplies. I mean, everyone's just coming together and helping each other. There are a lot of food drives at churches nearby and things like that. And as much as I've been devastated and the community has been devastated by everything that's happened, I'm also very touched to see how much people care for one another. Like, the last time, and I'm not you can't compare apples to oranges, they're not the same, but the last time that something, I guess, of this magnitude, just something devastating happened in my area and in the world, I guess. Well, not in the world, that's an overgeneralization, but the last dramatic thing of significance that I have experienced was COVID. And when COVID hit, there were so many stories of just people buying up all of the toilet paper and things like that, just like stories of greed. And I have been just delighted and touched to see that people are